Hi, I'm Cassidy Curtis from the San Francisco chapter of ACM SIGGRAPH. We are a pretty small chapter run by these lovely volunteers. The main thing we do is organize talks and presentations. Since 2020, these talks have been mostly online, which is not as much fun as doing them in person, but it means we can bring our audience some really amazing speakers. And we try to curate the talks so they cover an interesting mix of topics. So, for example, we'll have filmmakers from animation studios. This past May, we had 3 artists from Sony Pictures ImageWorks, a VFX lead, an effects animator, and a character animator. And they gave this amazing talk about the ink line work they did for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And this was just fantastic. So much love for the creative process, so many interesting details, both technical and artistic. I learned a lot. For one thing, I had no idea how much they used Blender on this movie. We had Sanjay Bakshi from Pixar talk about what it means to do effects in a movie where the characters are also effects. Some really interesting neural rendering techniques on display here. And we've had a number of other talks, from the explosion of recent films with non-photorealistic looks like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, the Mitchells versus the Machines, and so on. But we also show live action VFX work. This June, we're having Eric Winquist from Weta Effects talk about advances in facial performance capture using deep learning, among other innovative techniques. And in the past, we've had talks about the VFX work on TV series like The Mandalorian and The Umbrella Academy. And we've also had talks about games and VR. And on top of that, we've had talks about cutting-edge research. Paul Debevic gave an amazing talk about full spectrum lighting in virtual production. This was really eye-opening stuff. I did one last year about the work my team's been doing on autonomous characters that can act on their own inner motivations. And we've also had some great art talks, like this panel of artists who use machine learning as part of their creative process. Fascinating seeing how these artists are really grappling with these tools and challenging the assumptions behind them. And we've even gotten into some really deep philosophical questions like, can computers create art? Aaron Hertzman did an excellent talk about this. The biggest new stuff this year is that this past January, we had our first in-person event since the start of the pandemic. We screened the electronic theater traveling show at Pixar in the big theater that they have there, with Jason R.M. Smith hosting. And it was so wonderful to see these films with a live audience on the big screen the way they were meant to be seen. We're really hoping to keep this momentum going in the coming year with more in-person events. The other news this year is a pretty major refresh to our website. So you can come here and find all of our past and upcoming events, videos of the ones that have been recorded, and other info about the chapter, including how to become a member. We're hoping to grow our membership in the coming years. Every event that we have, we always promote the national conference, and I hope that as our membership grows, so will interest in SIGGRAPH. That's all for our chapter. Hope to see you all soon.